Welcome back to Briggs on Books, where we talk to authors from all over the world about their book, about their inspiration. How do they get through the process? How do they even get a book published? That's hard. That's a lot of work. Check this book out. There it is. Grand Flowing Forestry. If you're about to pick your next book to read, you might want to pick this one. Not only do we have the book here, we also have the author, Caroline Brusger. Welcome, Caroline.
Hello.
Well, tell our viewers where you are.
I'm in Palmer, Massachusetts. I almost said Alaska.
we, where is that, Palmer? What's that by?
It's in Western Mass. It's sort of over Connecticut.
Over by Connecticut, yeah. Now you're an author. You've written several books, but this is your newest one.
Well,
Grand.
it's not actually the newest,
Okay.
but it's the one I'm still working on. It's the first of a trilogy, so there's more to come.
Okay.
There's a
And,
lot more to it.
and this is a big effort for you, I imagine.
Yes, it's been probably my longest project. This one is 3 years to compile the entire first book, and
Do
the uh, the actual inspiration is all from real life and real people who inspired the animals that are enchanted.
Yeah,
So
tell us a little bit about that. It's not a realm. It's a real life place.
it's sort of a cross between the two, sort of like a fantastical ideal of a real place that was actually not known,
Mhm.
sort of, and just was discovered, and everything lined up so beautifully that it now their tales are intertwined, I would say.
Yeah, I don't want you to spoil anything, but give our viewers an idea of what happens in the book.
The I guess the brief description would be that animals, aliens, and humans all come together and they go on an adventure where who knows what will happen.
Yeah, when you say
But the grand
aliens,
flowing forestry is what starts it all. And it's
when
all enchanted animals who know nothing
when you
but
say
their
aliens, you
land.
don't mean Canadians or anything. You mean UFO type of aliens.
Yes, yes.
And
Aliens,
th-
they're a species I sort of just created up just out of my head. They're
mhm,
called the newts or
nice.
the newts.
And what do you call the genre?
Science fiction fantasy.
Fantasy science fiction. Is it for young adults? Is it for adults? Is it for everyone?
It's any age. There's no naughtiness in there.
Oh, nice, nice.
So I think that would be the only thing that would judge out the children, besides there's some vocabulary that maybe younger readers might have difficulty
Yeah.
with, but there's an audiobook version of it as well. So
Oh, good.
I listen to that when I'm driving, when
Yeah.
I'm just, it's so much fun. The person who did the audio reading just brought it to life in a
That's
way
good.
that I even was stunned by. So
That's great. I love, I'm almost totally audiobooks now because I can't read the
I
fine
know,
print
me too.
anymore. Eh,
Anytime I go on a drive, I read George Orwell's 1984 on a road trip, and it was great.
Yeah.
So,
I go to the gym every day, listen to books, and every day, I just get through a lot more books this way. So I appreciate you doing that. And
all of my books are actually on audiobook
that's good.
versions as well. So,
That's excellent. By the way, where can we get your book? Now, can I tell about your dual identity? Can we talk about that?
yes, yes, it's sort
Carolyn
of a
is on
dual identity.
as Caroline Sand or Sands.
Yep, Caroline Sands and Caroline Brusger are the
Yeah.
two pen names.
And we've had you on before to talk about the other books. So if you want to look at those, go to Amazon, type Caroline Sands. And but this book, I went to Amazon and type. It's on the screen, Amazon.com/author/Bresker, and it'll take you right
Yep.
to the book.
And
Um,
that should link both. You should be able to find all of the audiobooks, and
that way.
everything's also hardcover and paperback. So
Now,
lots of
who's going to read this book? Is it going to be mostly science fiction, fantasy readers, or anybody could enjoy this book?
I geared it more for all types of interest. It's sort of a fun collaboration that should touch the hearts and the minds of anyone.
Mhm.
I know I've gone back to it a ton of times and I
We,
can't stop.
we talked about whether it's a realm or a reality, and you say kind of both, but is it set someplace? You say Alaska?
Yes, there's actually Glacier Park in Palmer, Alaska is the home of this fantasy land that sort of collaborates the real and the whimsical.
So
So
would
there's
somebody,
a Glacier Bay in Alaska has been under preservation for over 250 years, just
wow.
like the Grand Flowing Forest. So
Um,
there's Easter eggs, I would say, that
yeah.
are real, and there's some real hidden truths that are fantasized in a
Yeah. So
imaginative way
would
to
somebody
bring
from that
fun.
area, Palmer, Alaska, that Glacier Park, would they recognize things in the book?
Uh, I I don't think so. Not yet. Not this
Not
book.
this book. Okay.
I think the next book, yes, but
Now
that
this
would
is
be
a
the Pursuing Answers.
nice. Now
The
this
first
that's your
first
research.
chapter is done.
Yeah. Now somebody you set out to write a trilogy. You know you're going to do a trilogy. The first piece is a big effort. 3 years, I think you said. And
Yes.
do you have the whole thing kind of charted out, or is it still coming to
Yes.
you? Oh, it's all
There's been and actually this whole story is actually the first story started off of a different story that had nothing to do with
mhm.
it. It was sort of different planets. So that's another key inspiration of this story is that there's three planets that are all equal Earths, and we are the lucky one that has people, animals, and then the aliens who come to us are from a planet that's equal to everything that our planet is, and it's like our planet would have been split into three during its creation. So the other planet has just people, and then another planet has just animals.
Ah,
So they have very equal timelines to ours, except completely different, except the people and the animals are same. It's just over time they evolve differently than us on our planet. So
amazing. I don't
that's
know.
another inspiration
Yeah.
that's going to come into play in the future books.
I don't know how
It's not
fantasy
so
writers
much in this
keep
one.
all the things straight.
Hmm?
I don't know how fantasy writers keep all the things straight.
A lot of note cards.
No cards,
I have
organization.
a main timeline that keeps me strict on where I'm going. And the first book was just written freehand, and then the timeline came after. So I didn't know that it was going to be a trilogy until I wrote the first one, and I was like, this needs to end here, unless I made it all in one, which would have been
Been a long book, huh?
overwhelmed me.
Yeah.
So,
Now, usually at this point in the interview, I ask the author, what are you working on next? But you're working on your next two uh, parts of the trilogy, I guess.
well, I also would say that I have recently started a clothing line.
Ah.
So I added the link to that. That's just for fun.
Now,
But
we have this web address on the screen. It ends with caroline.sands. I don't know what the rest of it says, but it's up there.
is
Uh,
that La Gallerista?
yeah.
Yep, that's the clothing line.
Oh, nice. Okay. So if they follow the link, they can find the clothing line. Would they
Yep.
also find information on the books there as well?
No, but there are some inspirations as far as photos and nature that I have put out there on the lines. So,
Now you have the your previous books. Would you call those? One is poetry, I think, maybe two of them.
two of them. Yep, there's two poetries. The Lovely Life in Rhymes and Any Reason to Smile Will Do.
Any reason to smile? Nice. That's one with the
I can't
bird.
even say that without
I
smiling.
know. And what about this one with the cat?
That's Whiskers Whippin'.
Yeah.
That's the children's book, well, all ages, but
Um, now, while you're working on this trilogy, do you think you might be writing another book in the middle?
definitely. I have another one that I already produced as well that was called All Ways Are in the Terrier's Way.
Mm,
And that's a dog book that was for my dad's birthday, which
nice.
is coming up on Thursday.
Oh,
So happy
nice.
birthday, Dad.
Nice, yes.
But and I do have I will be releasing short stories with the characters in this Grand Flowing Forestry
Mm,
because there's so many adventures that these characters get into in my head that just
hmm.
need to be put on pages that it wouldn't be part of the master story, I would say.
Okay, very
But
good.
it should be shared because they're stories that would definitely intertwine with the depth of their world.
Yeah, it's just
So,
amazing how many things you're doing, from a clothing line to books to more books to trilogy, and it sounds like you stay very busy.
yes, this year has been a very productive year, but if I don't stay creative,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna lose the kid in me, and I can't do that.
Tell me about your writing, your discipline. Do you get up every day at 7 a.m. and start typing, or what's your discipline?
Definitely not.
No.
When I have it, and I have to sit down and like, there was a poem that took me probably 20 years to actually sit down and because the poetry I write all in one sitting.
Hmm.
Like any poem that I've written, there's one that I wrote called Weighted in one of my stories, and that was about my weight loss journey over my life and the struggles. And it took 3 hours to write that one poem, but that poem is over 10 pages long.
Wow,
So it was
amazing.
like 1,000 hours of, or 1,000 words per hour.
Wow, it's amazing.
So it was a big
Sometimes you just
production just for one poem, but it came out perfectly. And I usually don't edit the poems after. I just do spell checking, and
yep,
what
that's it.
came out was
Nice.
from the heart. So
That's nice. Well, Caroline, the current book is this Grand Flowing Forestry. Grand Flowing Forestry. Why is that so hard for me to say? And where can they
I
get
think it's hard for me too.
they could get
I,
this
I called it originally the G-Flow Forest.
cheap load? But it's on Amazon, of course. All your books are. We talked about that. There's the link right on the screen, and we've gone way past time. I love to talk to you. We always go over time because I can't stop talking to you because you're a fascinating person and creative, and I just admire you very much.
Thank you.
Any last thoughts you want to share with our viewers before we go?
I should be all set for today. I hope everyone has a glorious rest of their day.
Alrighty, I'll say it for you. Buy the book. Buy the book, and don't buy just one. Whenever I order books, I at least order five because I always have to go somewhere where I should take a gift with me, and I take a book. So go buy five of these things. Also, I want everybody around me reading what I'm reading. That's why I buy multiple books too. So
I know.
thank you, Caroline, and I hope you come back again and again. I know you've been on.
I absolutely will.
I know you've been on several times, but I always like to talk to you, and we'll have you back very soon.
All right.
Thank,
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day and a happy holidays.
Alrighty, and for our viewers, don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with another guest right after this.